Strangers to philosophy are often surprised to discover how many self-referentially absurd positions one can find in the history of philosophy. One example of such a system is the logical positivism that was popular in Great Britain and the United States during the 1930s and 40s. The book that came to be regarded as the most influential statement of logical positivism was A.J. Ayer's book, Language, Truth and Logic. For the record, Ayer did abandon logical positivism in his latter years. The touchstone proposition of logical positivism was something called the verification principle. Logical positivists thought they had discovered a criterion of meaningfulness that would exclude all kinds of claims they found distasteful. Only two kinds of propositions can have meaning. The positivists argued those that are true because of the meaning of their constituent terms, called analytic statements, and those that are verifiable by sense experience, called synthetic statements. Positivists delighted in showing, or so they thought, that theological, metaphysical, and ethical statements failed to meet either criterion of meaningfulness. And because such statements were neither analytic, that is, true or false by virtue of the meanings of their words, nor synthetic, true or false because they were verifiable by experience, they were discarded as meaningless. This meant that statements like God exists were neither true nor false. They were meaningless. What a clean and convenient way of eliminating theological, metaphysics, and ethics from the arena of responsible discourse and thought, or so the logical positivist thought. The positivists used their verification principle like a sledgehammer, smashing a great many of the traditional positions in philosophy, including beliefs about God, the soul, and morality. At least they did so until people began to ask about the cognitive status of the positivist verification principle. What kind of statement is it? The positivist criterion of meaning showed itself to be meaningless, because it could be classified as neither an analytic nor a synthetic statement. Efforts to rescue the verification principle failed, so it is difficult to find any philosopher who is willing to admit adherence to logical positivism. The movement is dead, a result fitting for any logically self-defeating theory. The next is scientific positivism. Even though logical positivism has been out of to rest, a different version of positivism continues to appeal to students and professors. The touchstone proposition of scientific positivism goes like this: it is wrong to believe any proposition not verified by scientific method. Please note that I have no quarrel with either science or the scientific method. The relevant issue is the assumption that science and its methodology are competent to bring us into the presence of all that is true. This is the point at which any thinking person must object. For example, at least one important proposition cannot be verified by the scientific method, namely the touchstone proposition of the positivist position. Any scientific experiment could possibly verify the claim that it is wrong to believe any proposition not verified by the scientific method. The answer is that there is none. Therefore, if it is wrong to believe any proposition so described, and the touchstone proposition of scientific positivism fails its own test, it follows that it is wrong to believe in that touchstone proposition. Scientific positivism is a logically self-defeating position.